So how are you today, Kendon?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right, no complaints at all. So upon learning some a little bit about your story, I felt like you would be a great person to speak because you went through a lot. I know right now you are a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
And then you are also the founder of Beautiful Scars. What does Beautiful Scars offer?
So I am a sponsor.
Okay.
I have a program that I've set up for those who struggle with alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 10-week program, and it's
Okay.
basically helps them wean themselves off, but at the same time, find out why. Like,
Find
why
okay.
did I ever start?
Okay, okay. So before getting to that point, you were a person in need of those services yourself.
Yeah.
I understand that you were drinking about, you said a gallon of, was it vodka every day and
Yes.
chasing it with 211s.
Yes.
Okay. And you ended up with cirrhosis of the liver,
Yes, I did.
and then you ended up having to get a transplant. What type of transplant?
A liver
A
transplant.
liver transplant.
Yeah.
Okay, so I first want to ask, were there any other addictions or was it just alcohol?
No, I was pornography as well.
Okay,
In six.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And you feel, and you are in recovery from both?
Yes.
Okay. So what, I want to go back a little bit. How did you become an alcoholic? Like, how did the drinking start for you?
My first drink, I was 17 years old,
Okay.
and my best friend snuck and came and got me. And our knucklehead behinds went to the liquor store
Mm-hmm.
and got a homeless man that bought us some Thunderbird, purple Thunderbird. And so I that was my first taste of some type of liquor, and it was malt liquor. Um, I was always a drinker, and I drank pretty heavily. I think that was some of my ADHD.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so it mellows you out. So
Yeah.
and it builds up a certain type of dopamine. But my drinking journey really started when I lost my best friend.
Okay. Okay. So did you you mentioned ADHD. Is that something that you had been diagnosed with as a youth, or did you find
Yeah.
that out? You okay. And was how was that being managed for you? Was it being managed at all, or did you just know you had it?
It started off as being managed
Okay.
until I went to military school. So I think I was diagnosed at 11, and I think I stopped my meds. I think I was 16 or 17.
Okay. So by the time you started drinking, you weren't taking the meds anymore.
No,
Okay. Military school, was that a high school or what was
yes,
that?
yes,
Okay.
Marine Military Academy in Harlingen, Texas.
Okay. Does that pipeline you into the actual military or what?
It was supposed to.
Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Okay, and so how old were you when you lost your friend?
17.
And you said the friend that, so you guys started drinking and in that same year he passed away?
Yes.
Okay. Was it sudden or was this something you were already preparing for?
All of a sudden, he was murdered.
I'm sorry.
Mm, yeah,
Okay.
in a
Okay.
gang fight.
Say that again.
Murdered in a gang fight.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so were you in the gang with him?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so at that point, did you know you were an alcoholic right away, or when did you learn that you were an alcoholic?
When I finally realized it, I was probably about right at about 26,
Mm-hmm.
25. I think I was working at City and City Financial, and I would leave and go get one of those very fine the cranberry, drink half of it and pour vodka in the other half. And
Okay.
that's when I started kind of seeing the signs.
Okay. And it was it because was that a way of you hiding that you were drinking liquor?
Yes,
Okay.
while I
And
was
it
at
was
work.
while you were at work.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you knew at that point, okay, this isn't normal. Were you hiding it from any other situation or place? Were you hiding it at home? Did your loved ones know? If you had a partner, did your partner, they didn't know that you were an alcoholic?
No,
Okay.
I had because I live probably about 30 minutes away from everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it was just me and my roommate.
Okay. So, but just when your roommate. Hmm. Okay. So with you being an alcoholic and you're hiding it from everyone, surely alcohol takes a hold of your behaviors. It takes a hold of everything. What types of things were happening in your life as a result of the alcohol that you couldn't explain to your loved ones? So, if there's a person in your life that didn't know you were an alcoholic, and let's just say you keep doing a certain thing that's a problem for other people, and you just can't open your mouth and say it's because I was drunk, or it's because I passed out, or it's because I forgot, like, what types of things showed up in your life that the alcohol was causing and you just couldn't open up about?
Mine was sleeping,
Okay.
so I would drunk sleep.
Okay.
And sometimes I would like come see my parents and would be sleep outside for like 30 minutes with the car running.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was how mine showed up.
Okay. Just drink until you basically were
Yeah,
passing out.
yes. Yeah,
Okay.
it
And
was
was
just
it
about,
causing you to like miss obligations, or was it interfering with your life at all that you were doing that?
it was. I would be late picking my boys up from school,
Mm-hmm.
late taking them. And
Mm-hmm.
so little, those were the little first little things like, you're a little off on that. But I think when it really started to hit one is when I couldn't cook as well anymore. That's
Oh,
when,
okay.
yeah, something's off.
Okay. So were you a chef at a point?
Yeah, I owned one of the top 50 barbecue restaurants in the state of Texas
Okay.
called Top Five Barbecue.
It was called Top Five Barbecue?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, okay. I didn't know that either. Thank you. Okay,
Mhm.
and so you were running this barbecue place.
Yeah,
Was it one location or two?
it was one.
Okay, and then so you're managing that, you're dealing with alcoholism and also a pornography addiction. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that was pulling you from your schedule as well, right? Okay,
Mhm.
was that interfering with your life in any other way, that addiction?
Yeah, well, my of course my marriage.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
when I think when the we had started a church together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a church boy. I'm a theologian. Uh, and when we were doing mission, we were doing great. Um, and she ended up getting breast cancer. So we had to shut
Oh,
our doors
okay.
and because I had to be there with my
Mm-hmm.
wife.
Yeah.
And so I think it was then when life had started to hit me a little bit too hard. Because we had Kendon with sickle cell. Cam is my middle child. He only had like a 0.003% chance he would have Downs. He's born with Downs and congestive heart failure.
Oh, wow.
Opening the church, she has breast cancer, and it's like everything in me went into shock.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, I when we moved to open top five. When we moved, I was stuck in the closet.
Hmm.
Anxiety had got a hold of me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so your wife has breast cancer. You have one kid with sickle cell,
Hmm.
and then another child with Down syndrome,
Yes.
and then another child, in addition to everything else, another child to care for. And
Yeah.
you're also hiding that you have these addictions, and
Yeah.
you're a pastor at the same time.
I wasn't even addicted during that period.
You were just abusing.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if I felt down, I would have a drink.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so okay, so at that point, you're okay as far as like you wouldn't say you were an alcoholic during that point. That was just a challenging time. At
Yeah.
any point, did those times trigger you into the alcoholism? Because you said you became an alcoholic at about 26, 28. Did you
Hmm.
slow up when you got your family? Is that the reason why
I
you weren't?
did. I
Okay,
did.
okay.
I slowed up during that time, And when we decided to leave and go open top five, the what got me was when I had to leave my dog.
Your
And
dog?
yep,
Okay.
I felt like my dog was the only real friend I had that I could tell everything to,
Oh,
and I had to leave him. And I that was a trigger for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
And I never stopped drinking after that.
What was your dog's name?
Man.
Man, what kind of dog was he?
He was an American Bulldog,
Okay.
all white.
Okay. What is open top five? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
What is that?
It's a barbecue restaurant.
Okay. And
Yep.
why did you have to leave the dog?
We moved in with my parents, and
Okay.
my mother is scared to death of dogs.
Okay.
Yeah. So it would have been a good mix.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, that is a lot. So after that point is when you just start picking up the bottle again and indulging.
Yeah.
Okay. So then what got you to the point? Was it just the health scares that made you stop? Because you were at a pretty low point with health, but you don't jump there. So obviously there had to be some signs along the way. Were things happening in your body that you
Yeah.
were ignoring before you got the diagnosis?
Yeah.
What types of things
Um,
were showing up?
so I was the first sign was when I used to hang with some of the stars, right? So I catered for Jay-Z, Beyonce, Justin
Yeah.
Timberlake, all those. And so I got into that realm of partying. And the
Okay.
first sign was me not being able to sleep, but I wasn't, and I still wasn't sleepy.
Okay.
I
Okay.
would just be up drinking.
Okay.
And so it first showed in my brain. Uh,
Huh.
that was the first sign.
So what was that called? Because it sounds like there was something that wasn't allowing your brain to know that it was bedtime.
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia?
Yes. So if you drink that amount of liquor, it builds up pneumonia in your brain. Um,
Okay.
some are worse, a lot worse than others, but that's where mine started.
Okay. Okay. And so yeah, that's something that I didn't know that. Okay. So it was keeping you awake and you were ignored. Did you instantly know that something was off about it, or when did you
I
slow down
did.
and say you did?
I
Okay.
Yeah. And I slowed down.
Okay. Okay.
And then when my divorce hit,
Mm-hmm.
it was on and popping.
Okay.
I didn't stop none. I mean, it was probably not an hour out the day that I wasn't sipping something.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, because I lost my soulmate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't realized how much she covered me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So did you ever do anything other than the liquor to help you deal with that loss?
Nope. Women.
No.
Women.
Women?
Yeah.
What about now? Have you done anything yet
Two, what's that?
to deal because that's traumatic. Going through a divorce of that magnitude, it's traumatic. Like you said, you lost your soulmate. You also, you lost your partner and you have children that have illnesses and needs. So that means you don't have that force when it means a lot, as you obviously know. So that's trauma. So we can
Mm-hmm.
go through trauma and just make it to a point to where we've just accepted it and it's just always there. Or we can do things to kind of help us unearth it and have it present with us, the memories present, but they're not painful memories. They're not memories that if it comes up too far, we're triggered in a way to where we're shutting down or spiraling or thinking in the wrong way. So I'm asking basically, have you ever done like a therapy or have you ever had any type of like spiritual practice or anything that helped you to put that loss into a different category within yourself?
It out therapy. My
There,
goodness.
yeah.
Woo. I mean, I was in there for some years. Still am,
Okay.
matter of fact.
Okay.
But mine was more of a spiritual wrestling
Hmm. Hmm.
than mental. I knew that since I was little kid, that something was different about me.
Okay.
And I grew up always thinking that was weird, so I would fit in with the crowd. I knew how to
Mm-hmm.
mask myself. That's
Mm-hmm.
what made me so good with women, because I
Mm.
was all the niggas.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And so that's why I talk to them the way I talk to them now, to let them know, like, it's some of us out here. And so that spiritual wrestling with the persona of who I wanted this picture to be
Mm-hmm.
in the real me. And that spiritual place took me back to that little boy that I covered up
Mm.
through addiction.
Okay. Okay.
And I just made a promise to him when I got back there. My dad said, "You can't forgive yourself, but I know I can apologize to him for losing him to addiction."
Yeah.
And I promised him I'd never leave him again, which
Okay.
then points me to my son and understanding that reconciliation needs to take place there to all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
Reconciliation to their mother. I took a vow to God and her father that I would take care of her,
Yeah.
whether she's my friend or lover. I'm going to make sure I take care of. And
Okay.
so
Okay.
when you combine that with the therapeutic part of your mind, you
Mm-hmm.
become a complete person.
Yeah. Okay. 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 So obviously that's enough, like you said, to drive you into just drinking nonstop. How long after the divorce did you have where you were just doing this excessive drinking?
It was immediate. It was started at the separation.
Started at the separation?
Yeah. So we were
Okay.
married 14 years. So yeah, when we separated, it started immediately.
Okay. And then what happened with the business? Was it both of your business?
It was a family business.
Okay.
It closed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just kind of, I think for the most part, didn't know what we were doing,
Yeah.
and we hit quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how that works. Yeah. I experienced that. I opened a business and before I knew it, it was just like going nuts. And I was having trouble, keeping up with the demand and a lot of other things because you have the skill, but you have to have
Yeah.
you have to have the acumen across the board. And so
Right.
fortunately for me, I was able to hold on to it, but I definitely lost a lot and I'm, still in a place of getting it back to like I don't want to say a comfortable place, but I know how that works. You don't know. It's a lot to know with the business. So yeah, I do get that, but I'm sorry that that happened, especially with you saying that it was one of the top places. That's heavy too.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so I'm gonna go back to the health thing. So the first thing you noticed was pneumonia, um, and then you slowed down at that point. Did you stay low or did you eventually get back up?
I got back up.
You got back up, okay. And
I,
then what else was happening? Because a doctor had to tell you that there was pneumonia in your brain, right?
yes.
And is that something that can be reversed or how do you treat
Yes.
pneumonia? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then did your sleep cycle go back to normal once they started treating it?
No,
No.
because I never stopped drinking.
Okay. Okay.
So I had got to a point where I was bleeding out of my rectum.
Wow, just from the liquor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I my first round I went to Methodist. They tried a experimental drug on me that was
Mm-hmm.
actually working. I got up to 55% of my liver healed with that thing. And
Okay.
I decided I wanted to see test the waters, have a beer. And that beer went to a gallon of vodka.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I
What
was
was the medication? Do you know what it was
I,
called?
I do not remember the name of it
Okay.
because I lost a lot of my memory through this process.
Yeah.
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 So
Mm-hmm.
my brain right now is like a file cabinet.
Oh,
Yeah. So even
okay.
talking to you is some things are just kind of like, hey,
You
remember
have to
this?
file through and pull it out.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So I know they tried that, and I was so addicted that I was gagging, and nothing was coming up. I'm right in front of my doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Do you have a drink, Mr. Greene?" And I said, "No, I didn't have a drink." He said, "Mr. Greene, your blood work shows me every day you had a drink.
Wow.
You drank every day for the last 30 days." And he put that tray thing down and said, "Good luck."
Why did you tell him no? Because you were there to get help. So why did you tell him no?
Addicts are the most lying people on the planet.
Yeah.
I am the story of Jacob. I
Okay. Okay.
was a swindler. I
Mm.
was worse than the heathen.
Wow.
And I could play the part very well. I was a chameleon there. And so addiction went well with me
Mm-hmm.
because I was already good at it.
Okay. Okay. That was already who you were at core.
Yep.
Hmm.
All
So
that did was figure it
your
out.
road to recovery had a couple of pieces to it. You needed to recover from alcohol addiction, pornography, and you also sound like you needed to reform yourself.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so that's a lot. That's a
Mhm.
lot to do. It's very and it's tough and it's courageous. What was the first step once you got to this place where I now have cirrhosis of the liver, and cirrhosis and everything else? And before we go forward, can you just explain what cirrhosis of the liver is?
It's almost like when one side of your liver starts to get hard.
Mm-hmm.
The liver's supposed to be real squishy, but this is almost becoming like a bark over your liver until it completely consumes it.
Mm-hmm.
And along the way it gives scarring on the liver.
Okay. And what are some of the side effects of having that condition? How does it show up in other parts of the body?
Man, um, it always starts off in your bowels.
Okay.
That looseness. It was one point I remember. Oh my God, it was clear.
Your bowels were clear?
My bowels looked like uh snot.
Wow.
Yo,
Okay.
and my urine was dark as tea.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Uh, so those are two those are two major
Yeah.
signs.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, my body would feel it would never get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't keep a certain temperature. I was always cold.
Okay.
Um, I was be having blood coming out, even just standing there sometimes.
You're just bleeding.
Yeah, I remember one time I woke up, it was blood everywhere, and then sweating just profusely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can't shake it. It's your body trying to get the toxins out, and then the shaking was one of the worst.
Wow.
Yeah, so I couldn't feed myself because my
Mm-hmm.
hand wouldn't stop shaking. My muscles deteriorated. I was 283 pounds. I went down to 93.
93
Um,
pounds?
93 pounds.
In what period of time?
This is from 2023 to 2024.
Oh boy. So just in a year?
In a year, I was wearing the pins. I was in a wheelchair. Um, I needed help doing everything. I couldn't even sit up by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't know what year it was, who the president was. I didn't know my birthday. I had gone crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and remind me to tell you about that story too. I had gone crazy. Um, my ex-wife, Devetta, said I looked like death.
Wow.
The last time I went to give blood, The nurse came in crying
Hmm.
and she said, "You look amazing. You look like a miracle."
Hmm.
Because I remember when you came through these halls
Hmm.
in the wheelchair,
Wow.
I was dead. I was literally dead. And I
Yeah.
knew it. I knew I was dying.
Hmm. Hmm. What did you want? Did you want to live?
I didn't.
Okay.
I knew exactly what I was doing.
Hmm.
And they
Hmm.
told me if I ever have another drink, I could die. It was like giving me the gun.
Okay.
Yep.
And so what gave you the will to push forward?
My mama.
Your mother.
My mom was a tough woman.
Hmm.
I'm a mama's boy.
Hmm.
Me and my mama didn't talk much when I was growing up because I loved them streets and she hated them.
Okay.
God made me talk to my mama. And my mama would not let me give up.
Hmm. Hmm.
She refused.
Confused. Do you have siblings or is it just you and your mom?
And I have a sister.
Okay, you have a sister. Are you older or is it or who's the oldest of the two of
Me.
you?
Me.
Okay, but you're her only son, so she was fighting for you. Is your mom a person of faith? What was the process for her? Because
Yeah.
it takes a lot to pull a person off of that type of ledge. So what, like just thinking of what mom was doing for you, what was it? Was it presence? Was it the words? Like what was it about mom other than her just being mom that was really pulling you in?
Yeah, we are a praying household.
Okay.
My dad one of the top theologians in America.
Okay.
I'm a PK.
Okay.
Um, my mama, however, would push me
Mm-hmm.
in that wheelchair. And there was this one time I remember when she had to push me up this hill.
Mm-hmm.
And she looked and said, "You ready, son?" I said, "Let's go, mama." That's when I knew I was gonna live.
Yeah, because your mother was pushing you up that hill.
Yep,
Okay. Okay. And that was the point where you said, okay, this is too much.
yep,
Okay. Okay.
yep.
Okay. Well, that is a, like the nurse said, that in itself is a miracle because if you saying you were already out of your mind, you already didn't want to be here, and something that's not simple, but in essence, it's a simple act like that. It took that little thing for you to say, I'm deciding to change and
Yeah,
fight.
yep.
Because you heal more. I believe people heal better, and I've read like things to back it up when your mind is also involved in your healing process. That makes the
Yes,
process much more effective. So
yes.
I'm sure once you hit that point, everything else with the medical team and family and everything else, it just made everyone's load better. It made everything start looking up. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, I really do.
Okay.
Because I understand now that that's what it was always about. The battle is here. It
Yeah.
always starts with your mind. If he gets your mind, he gets you.
Mm-hmm.
Because he know he can't have your soul. That
Yeah.
belongs to God.
Mm-hmm.
And so he want to drive you crazy while you're here. And so there has to be a deconstruction of how you see things.
Yes.
It doesn't just come from the soul. That comes from intellect. So I need to look backwards and see the lens of how I got there, so I never go back there.
Yeah.
That takes some that take you through a roadmap that you can't get through by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and at this point, while we're the conversation that we're having right now, you're just at the cirrhosis stage. You then went on to needing a transplant
Yeah.
for the liver. Did that happen because you continued to drink, or was it just a deterioration already that was already in place?
No, they told me I would never go get another liver.
Oh, really? Okay.
Man, my sister. became like my doggone doctor and social worker.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I had signed all my legal rights over to her,
Okay.
and she would just keep fighting for me.
Mm-hmm.
And this doctor, he fought and he said he took my sister outside the room, what I was told, and told her that I can't go and ask him to give him a liver because he can't stop drinking. But if we could get him to stop, I'll do my best.
Okay.
He came in and he was a Methodist doctor and he said, "Can you stop drinking for 3 months?" I said, "Yes." And I want right after the 3 months, they transferred me to Baylor. And Baylor doctor said, "You have to go through this strict program." I mean, it was strict. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It was like boot camp. And Dr. Israani looked at me and my mama and he said, "I'm gonna fight to get him a liver." And he did.
So were you able to go cold turkey at that point?
They have a choice.
Yeah.
I did not have a choice.
Okay.
And I was so sick. I had got so sick beforehand that anytime I would actually take a shot, it would come straight up.
So you couldn't hold it down anymore anyway. It was
Nope.
just, so was it just a taste for you at that point or just the act
I
of
think it
putting it?
was just my body saying the no.
No, I'm saying why were you still going for it if you couldn't hold it in anymore anyway? What was it, just you needed the taste or was it just a process of having that bottle? Like what was making you continue?
I think that's the addiction part
Okay.
that uh we 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 sometimes miss is that there's a part of our body that this has basically changed our DNA. And so our body is saying we need it. Like your everything, that's why when people stop drinking cold turkey, some of them have heart attacks or have seizures. I had a seizure and I flatlined
You
when I quit
flatlined a
cold
few
turkey.
times,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Okay. That was you mentioning about the DNA. That's something that I didn't know too. So that makes sense because there's something I've been like recently studying. It's called neuroplasticity. Have you heard of it? And it basically it teaches how the brain can basically rewire itself. You can just
Yeah.
become a whole new person. And that's something that I'm sure many people don't think about when it comes to addictions. It's more than just, oh, I'm going to do it for a while, then stop. If you're doing something for a certain period of time, you, like you said, you are wiring your brain to believe that it's something that it needs, and if it's
Mm-hmm.
not getting it, now you're gonna go into a panic. And that can I mean that can go from any type of addiction, from sugar to, with you
It's
dealing
right.
with, the deep things you dealt with. So that's very useful information to, for people to consider. For, yeah, people, and I mean me included, like you would, that's just something to, it explains why it can be so hard to just
Mm-hmm.
stop something, and why it's not as easy as, oh, I'm just going to have a few and then I'm gonna stop. It's like, no, you're going to end up having to rewire your brain to get off of
Mm-hmm.
this. So that is tough. So that is why you flatline, because you were in need of the alcohol and having a, you said a heart attack or see, what was it?
Seizure.
Having a seizure. Okay. Was there anything that they gave you to help you balance that out? Because I think about people that are on certain drugs and they go to those methadone clinics, and I believe that those are substitutes for whatever drug it is that they're on. Isn't that what methadone is?
I think so.
Okay. Is there
Yeah.
something like that if you're withdrawing from alcohol that they can give your body to kind of mimic it to
Yeah.
keep you okay, and you just didn't have that?
After the seizure, yes, but for
Okay.
whatever reason, it wasn't working.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, it was. I think I have had one of the worst documented cases. I think I've had the worst addiction, alcohol addiction, than almost anybody.
Okay.
I my brother said something to me. My play brother said something to me, and he watched me. He protected me really, but he was he'll tell you it was a gallon a day for real.
Yeah.
And he said he was at the hospital with me. He used to come up and stay with me so my mother could go home and sleep
Mm-hmm.
in a regular bed. And he said, "Man, I literally watched God change your DNA."
Mm.
And he's right because I am literally a miracle.
Yeah.
And I know it's in my DNA because I feel younger.
Okay.
I feel youthful and relevant.
Okay.
Um,
Relevant.
yes.
You haven't felt relevant prior to this point?
No, with all them accomplishments, I always knew it was something different. I
How,
always did.
so what do you equate relevancy to? Because I mean, I guess it would be something with the mind, giving that you are a husband, you're a father, you business owner, all of these things that you are the head of. So of course these people are, you're the head. So even in those positions, you didn't feel relevant?
No,
Okay. Okay. Did you ever, with therapy, did they ever get to why you didn't feel that way? Is that something um you ever have you ever got to that to understand why you felt that way in the first place?
yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, we're here now, so that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, okay. And so, now you had the transplant. How long after the transplant got into your body did you start to feel normal?
Oh my goodness. Now that was a journey. You
Okay,
mean mentally or physically?
both.
Physically,
Physically first. Physically was my first thought,
okay.
actually. Yeah.
Physically, I started getting around pretty quickly because right after, so my transplant was October 7th of 2024. I came home. I was only at the hospital 2 weeks. I was walking on my walker because my mother used to push me
Yeah.
so I could be strong after the transplant. And you'll see how God works. So she pushed me. I had to get strong
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because she always told me I don't care what you do, I can't pick you up, and I'm never changing your pamper.
She had boundaries, huh?
He said,
You have to draw the line somewhere.
yeah, I probably trained you in 6 months, and I wouldn't have to change your diaper. We were
Listen,
leaving rehab one day. She said, "Look, y'all better see somebody over here because I ain't changing this pamper."
I heard
But
that.
we she pushed me, so I was stronger than the average patient. Like after the surgery, I walked to my bed.
Mm,
I said no. Corey said, he, man, my little brother. Corey said find a way,
mm.
and so I found a way to walk to my bed. So I knew I was physically gonna be straight. So I started running a mile a day.
Wow.
I mean, I was getting it. My mother was after the surgery, she was just so hard on me. And a month later, she got cancer.
Oh, okay. So now that's
And
something else for you to work through.
yeah,
Okay.
and so and I got sick.
How?
I got what is that virus? Oh man. I cannot remember the name of this virus I got. It's called CVC.
Okay.
And mine went through the roof. And right when me and my mother was getting close, we had to separate.
Hmm.
And I had to go back to the house where I found my darkest moment. and stay there.
Okay.
And so uh, mentally, it took me a minute
Mm-hmm.
uh, because I was there sick and I couldn't eat. I couldn't hold anything down. So for seven
Okay.
days, I had nothing. I
Okay.
ended up back in the hospital. And I get out the hospital, but my CVC numbers is not nothing. My whole body is going out of control. It's just out
Mm-hmm.
of whack, which is messing with my mentality. So I
Yeah.
end up finding myself hanging around the same old friends that made me comfortable back in the gap.
Okay. 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 And the with the virus, is this the normal course that it runs on people, or was it worse for you because of your past history?
It's normal, but mine was higher. I think
Okay.
because of how much I drank.
Yeah.
Like because my what happened was, and I mean this, when I say it changes your DNA and your nervous system, it really does. I have
Yeah.
neuropathy now. I have the worst kind of neuropathy you
Oh
can have.
wow. Oh
They
wow.
they have shocked me. I remember I had to go to shock therapy, and the man had to turn all the machine all the way up for me. It felt like a little pinch,
Hmm.
and so I'm constantly in pain.
So knowing what you know now, the way that alcohol changed your life, what would you do different if you could go back to being that person that was running to the bottle to basically drown out the noise? Like, what do you wish, the things that you know now, what do you wish you knew then so that you weren't going to the bottle?
I wish I would have told my parents I needed help after my best friend died
Okay. Okay.
because I swallowed it like a rock.
Yeah. And
And
talking about it and things like that, you feel like would have been more helpful.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I almost acted like it never happened.
Yeah. And it was it a matter of you not knowing that that is something that would have helped, or did you just grab the first thing that you knew to grab? Did you know that there was a possibility of speaking about it and healing through different measures, or did you just go to the bottle because that's what you knew to do?
For I think that like my parents were very. We have an open household.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't think anybody understood that type of pain
Okay. Okay.
because we didn't talk like that,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And so I think that was probably why.
Yes, have moments too where I wish I knew things then that I didn't know, but I'm asking you this now so that if someone else hears this, they can know, even if it's not in your home and it's not talked about, you don't know like what your parents or your caregivers are, you don't know their wherewithal. So it's always someone out there that you can reach out to talk to. There's now, we're so advanced now that there's like you have your organization that you help people, so there's places like you they can call, and I know a lot of other organizations and things that you could talk, call and talk to people, because there's so many different resources out there if home is not a place where you can talk. And sometimes people or kids even, or even older young adults are dealing with things that you can't, like you were hiding it, you can't go and tell people, look, I'm drinking every day, you can't even bring it home. So there's still places that are what we call safe spaces to come and talk, so we don't get to a point to where all we can do is turn to pornography to feel loved, or we're turning to, or to feel, or whatever you're turning to it for, or alcohol, right?
Now we if we got into that type of talk, that's another issue,
Mm-hmm.
that I should have brought up is two very deep wounds. One was I was molested,
Oh,
and so that's part of that porn addiction.
okay.
That
So what,
I,
you were molested as at what age were you molested?
11,
11. Was it a woman?
yes,
Okay. Did you talk about it, or is that something you kept quiet to?
till I think I finally told my dad think I was 38.
Okay. Okay.
The
Why
only
didn't why
person
didn't you share why didn't you share that?
because in the hood it's normalized.
To be quiet. And then it
Yeah,
also, and
like
then
if it
as
was a woman.
it was a woman, is
Yeah,
looked at as a badge of honor at a certain age,
yeah,
right?
yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so like it is what it is, but that's like giving the keys to the keys to the car and say, "Go drive on the highway." You know,
Yeah.
it's like, and that's what is what it also is what made me hide a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I was a church boy, and
Mm-hmm.
religion was another deep wound of mine.
Mm.
Um, I just always grew up and knew something wasn't right.
Okay.
But I'm a PK. Your daddy's one of the top in the nation. He's a teacher. He's a scholar,
Yeah.
and I chased that.
Okay. What were you
So
chasing? Is that exactly?
I wanted to be smart like him. I wanted to be, I wanted to be a theologian.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to know the Bible in and out. I wanted to be a great preacher.
Yeah.
And when God had already made me a leader,
Mm-hmm.
so when I was while I was chasing knowledge, I was missing the sign
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because religion really closed that church. I was an African American pastor, and there wasn't nothing but about three of us in there that were African American. It was totally multicultural
Okay. Okay.
um, in Arlington,
Yeah.
and God took me to some places there
Mm-hmm.
where brothers wasn't supposed to go. And he had lives changing in very places.
What
So,
part of what about religion scarred you? You said you had some pain from that as well.
yeah, I come up out the Church of Christ,
Okay.
and so hearing that all your friends are gonna go to hell because they don't go to church, the same church as you, it is it makes you question God.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would you do that?
Okay.
So I started small with those questions. Like, what's up, God? Like, I'm hearing this preacher say this. This how you are.
Hmm.
And those things, those little thoughts will run through a mind of a 7, 8 year old boy when he hears this.
Is that a denominational thing
Yeah,
there that if they're not a part of the Church of Christ, they're in the wrong, okay, in the wrong
yeah.
way? Okay.
And my
Okay.
father was one of the pillars who fought against it.
Okay.
So you're growing up with a target on your back as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
From people you consider your friends. Now their parents are arguing, so you're taking childhood friendship away from each other because you're
Okay.
doing exactly what Satan wants anyway. He's dividing. And so I
Okay.
would see my friends go to prison. I would see them die. I would see them lose themselves to addiction. And
Yeah.
so it was like, man, but if we was together, that wouldn't have never happened.
Okay. Yeah, this bit was very insightful because it gives a little bit of support to where you were and how you were able to be comfortable in some of those spaces because you're a person of faith, but you did have these moments where it's shaking in certain areas. And whenever anything's shaky, obviously, it's not completely solid. So it's easy for something to fall to the left or right or totally off when the foundation is shaky in itself. So
Yeah.
this is very insightful. So now, we're back at the place of you finding out that your mom is sick, you're back in this space you don't want to be in, or that you were basically delivered from, and you're around this company again. Were you indulging again when you got with those people? Were you able to stay firm?
I was able to stay firm.
That's great.
And to be honest, even if I wanted to, they
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't allow me.
Okay.
So
So they were supportive.
they recognized that this was a total gift from God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they celebrated that.
That's wonderful.
And I was able to sit in the midst of them and talk through problems and try to give some insights like, hey man, you need to put that bottle down because this is what coming.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. And so, what was the next part of the journey for you? How did mom go through her treatment? How did that work out for mom?
So mom went through her. She had a major surgery
Mm-hmm.
um, and chemo, and is now cancer free.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. Okay, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
And then, for you, you got the what was it? CVC.
Yes.
how long did that stay with you?
Man, oh my God. Woo. A little over 5 months.
Okay. And did you have to be away from your mom because of the
Yeah,
contagion, or is
yeah,
that's why?
yes.
Okay, okay. So, okay, that's a long time. That's a long time. And
Yeah,
you just getting comfortable with your transplant, and here you are knocked back on, off your feet again. All
yeah.
right. Well, how did you keep yourself mentally strong? Because that's definitely that's heavy.
I ended up like with a roommate.
Mm-hmm.
She's like my god sister,
Mm-hmm.
and she really helped me.
Okay.
Uh, and then people would just come see me.
Mm-hmm.
I had so many people just come and encourage
Mm.
me. That it was amazing.
Yeah.
I never had to want for anything.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So that means that you were good to people. That means that you were good to those people, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that
yes,
speaks to
I
your
was.
character.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Okay. So then what so okay, so from there once you got back up, you must have just got up swinging, right? Because now we have this organization, you're speaking, you're preaching. I see you online giving like sermons. When you do those sermons, are those impromptu or are you planning those? Because they just seem
No,
kind of urgent. Do they just come to
yeah,
you?
they just come
That's
to me and I get it out.
yeah, that's what they seem like. They
Mhm.
seem like that, but they're very with you giving me your sharing your biblical background, it helps me understand because when you speak and you also have scripture to back everything up and it just flows in a way to where it would seem like you studied that out, but I can also tell that it was impromptu. So now I understand it. I get it. Okay. All
Oh,
right.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So what was the process once you got better? Like what did you do first?
So I was dating this woman named Janisha, and she said, "Kendon, let's go to Antioch for Friends Day." And
Mm-hmm.
Antioch is a large black church here, and my friend Chris Wesley is the pastor. So I said, "Okay, let me go surprise my little brother." And he walked in. This is the first day
Mm-hmm.
that I walked without my cane.
Wow.
And I walked like I didn't have anything.
Huh. Okay.
We walked in that church, the doors open, then the other set of doors open, and then usually they close them for like prayer and stuff. The guy opened the door and let us in. I walked all the way down to the front, and I remember his wife praying over my liver as soon as she saw me. And I looked at Chris. She hit Chris, and he turned around. He looked at me, smiled, and he said, "I've been longing to see you. I'm finna put you to work."
Hmm.
And I heard the voice of God.
Okay.
It wasn't him talking. And I remember that was the spirit was so high. I was just the singing was amazing. And he went to he went to try to preach. And I said, "You stay right there, little brother. You
Hmm.
stay there." And he got his anointing on. He said, "Somebody got a bad report this week from their doctor. And I had just got a bad report about my liver. My numbers were off." And so I went down front to get prayed for. And all I hear is, "Kendon, Kendon." And the first thing in my head was, I know he not. I know good and well he is not going to have me speak. There's
Uh-oh.
6,000 some people in this church, and I just got here. And I said, "I'm right here." And he put the microphone to my chest. He said, "You tell these people your testimony."
Hmm.
And I remember looking around this corner, and there was a guy sitting there in the same type of walker that I had.
Wow.
And we locked eyes, and I had to stop. And I said, "You got life in you. You're gonna get that new heart." And Chris leaned over and said, he getting a heart transplant. He need a heart transplant. I said, "This God is speaking." And I said, "Don't you worry. You're going to get that heart. Now
Hmm.
go walk to your
You
seat."
said that before you knew he needed the heart transplant.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He, here's the shout. He hadn't been to church since COVID.
Oh,
I hadn't been to church since I started my addiction.
okay.
He
Okay.
wasn't coming that Sunday, neither was I.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that moment was marked off for that time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that time because he ended up getting that heart transplant, by the way, and was one of the fastest healing heart transplant recipients Methodist has ever seen. He, but he showed me then that your calling is a lot larger than you ever imagined. It's
Mm-hmm.
more than that pulpit on Sundays.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's when I knew. That's when I hit the ground running.
When you have moments like that, what would you most attribute it to? Because if you hadn't been in fellowship, he hadn't been, would you say that if, if because there's a few different things that a person would say. They would just say like if God has something that he wants to get to somebody, he'll use whoever. They go he's used a bush before. Would you say that it's a moment where he just wanted to get that message to him, or would you say that it's just a matter of this is what your calling was and it just never left you, and now you completely died to self for whatever reason, and it's just God is just able to use you freely because you're in such a humble state? What would you like? What do you like say is the how something like that happens? If you and him, neither of you you're there because somebody invited you and you just showed up, and all of a sudden, spirit is speaking through you and is directly speaking to him, and it lines up. And nobody has to get up and translate what you said. You literally just knew you're going to get the heart, and you find out. And the reason why I'm just speaking to that in this way is because there are a lot of people that are not believers of moments like this for whatever reason. Tell them like how do you posture yourself to receive that type of communication?
One of my favorite sermons that I ever preached was when Jesus found Zacchaeus. In the Greek, it says that when Jesus got to the spot, and in the Greek, it really means this space and time. And
Mm-hmm.
so there was a seed planted 100 years ago where
Mm-hmm.
this sycamore tree could grow for this place and this time.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that when you are in tune with whatever energy you're in tune with, those spaces and time meet because they have to. It's not a coincidence. It's just I know this is something different because I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And I listen to that voice. That voice don't disappoint.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's easier now so God can use me because I'm not blocking his mouth off by drinking liquor any longer,
Yes.
or addicted to porn any longer, or addicted to women any longer. I'm no longer a weasel. They call me Mr. Community now.
All right. All right. All right. And that too is like what this platform is called, Weeds and Wilds, and it's about weeds and people and the wildflower people. And one of the things about like a weed is that it goes, it's under the ground, and to some people it doesn't serve a purpose, but one of the purposes that it serves once it comes out of the ground is that it's down there collecting a bunch of nutrients, and it comes up
Mm-hmm.
to make those nutrients available to the things around them. And even with the wildflower, and they can be, they're pollinators for bees and
Mm-hmm.
different things like that. And the wildflowers in the weeds also have nutrients that they're down there for a reason. And so of course you have to be a person would have to be in the right posture to be able to say, I went through hell and high waters, but I'm going to take this stuff that I've gathered while in there in the mud to bring out to feed other people. Not everyone has that position. Some people are like, why did that happen to me? It's a very selfish, I don't want to say selfish, but everybody's not
Mm-hmm.
a person that's willing to look at their scars and say these scars are going to be beauty for somebody else, and that's what this is all about. That's what this, conversation is about. That's what this platform that I'm creating, because it's still in a creation process. I just, you know, like you, came out of a place of a lot of different things, and God just said, go. And here we are. So
Yeah.
it's not even really it started, but it, so here we are. So yeah, that I wanted to just to ask that question so you can help people understand, because not everyone knows about faith, and not everyone knows how things like that work, and it just doesn't make sense. So I just call that, like, if something is in your heart, and I have this conversation with people a lot. um I believe that God searches your heart. God searches your heart, and you can be in the lowest place ever, but when God comes through to do what he is coming to do, he's searching your heart. You can be in whatever situation. You can be upside down on a pole, half naked. If God is searching your heart. So I just want, to just put that out there too, to just never lose faith for people being in a wheelchair and feeling like you're not going to get a part. Even you in that space where they told you, the doctor walked out, he said, I'm not about to deal with this. And so God knows your heart though. So you could have been put way further on a list to where you weren't here to get that liver, but God knows, and he'll show up when he needs to. So,
I, when you beat this, you have a spiritual awakening like none other.
mhm.
So that's not the only. I went to the first rehabilitation center I wanted to go in to try to get clean, but I didn't get accepted because of my insurance. I went
Okay.
in there and spoke a couple of weeks ago. And
Wow.
I mean, we was in there getting it in.
Yeah.
And then I was done and I got up and God said, look to your left. This is what I mean when I say in tune with the spirit. And
Mhm.
I looked and the light bulb went off in my head. One of those file cabinets opened. I pulled that file out and I
Mhm.
said, I know you.
Hmm.
And that white guy looked at me and said, no, you don't. He was playing with his bracelet. I said, yes, I do. We were in the crazy house together.
What?
I said, you rode home with me. I said, we were on the same bus. You stay in Plano on the second floor. And he stopped playing with that thing and he looked at me. And I said, if but no other reason I came here is to show you that you can quit.
Wow. Now, when you say crazy house, are you talking about a mental hospital, or are you talking about a rehab facility, a
No, I
drug
was in
clinic?
a mental hospital.
Okay. Who admitted you there?
My mother,
Your mother. Okay. And how long did you stay?
3 days.
3 days? What
Yeah.
happens in 3 days for a person that's having a mental crisis? What happens in 3 days to say you're okay, you can go out now?
I'm gonna tell you. My homeboy used to call me a genius. I'm something like a genius for real. I played them people.
Okay.
I really did.
Okay.
That's how good of a weasel I was.
Okay. So 3 days wasn't enough. That's what I'm getting at, right?
No,
Okay. Okay.
no.
And the reason you were there, are you able to now work on that now through therapy, or yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was part of the pneumonia buildup.
Okay.
And so that's when I was kind of googly eyed. But see, by then, 3 days, you done got all that out your system and you're coming to
What did you get out of your system in 3 days?
all that liquor.
Oh, okay.
So the
Okay. So this is
pneumonia
okay.
settling down now. And
Mm-hmm.
now I'm able to get my wits
Mm-hmm.
and I'm
Mm-hmm.
able to maneuver through the system. Oh, I can sit down with your psychologist because I got a psychology degree.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so let's
Yeah.
sit down and have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking like this and making sense. Everything you want to hear so I can get up out of here.
Okay. How did you acquire the degree?
I went to Dallas Christian College
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
I wanted to study theology and psychology because I knew what a person believes draws their mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
always wanted to know where a person's mind goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that, in combination to the swindler that you already were, helped you to get out of that nut house in 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I always wonder about that, because I have some friends that go there and they back in no time, and I'm just like, how? But I understand, because there's some characters too. So you went in there and tricked the folks, but
I tell people when you think that you're at your wits end and it's over, God has a subtle way of reminding you that you matter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in the moments where you kind of forget where, but then the same man that you were in the crazy house with finds you and tell you how proud he is of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Life
Man,
is funny that way. Life is funny. So
God,
now after this point, you're here, you got invited to Antioch, that starts the fire, and from here you go on and start your organization.
yes.
Okay. And so is this a nonprofit where people are able to donate to you, and is that how you're able to sponsor people for different things?
Actually, no, I haven't done anything with it. Unfortunately,
Okay.
I just really wanted people to have a voice. So
Okay.
I started a podcast on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
with it started off as just it wasn't even my ideal. It was a
Yeah.
friend of mine just to put some money in my pocket.
Yeah.
And it kind of grew
Mm-hmm.
into a conversation with three co-hosts that have all have MS and some been through addiction, but we just talk.
Okay.
And I
So
wanted
when you
people.
say that you're sponsoring someone, what does that mean?
So I do have a program where I take people who are struggling very very badly with alcohol.
Okay.
So like Baylor has sent me one or two. There's two, and then church. And then somebody is one online that I do with. So I take them, I listen to their stories, then I walk out 12 weeks of them on how to get off the liquor part.
Okay. Okay.
And all of them but one have totally completed and stopped.
Okay, that was my next question about your success rate. That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. And then if they haven't, if they get with you like that one who didn't, do they leave or do you stay in touch with them, or how does that work?
You stay in touch.
Stay in touch?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I impress on them they have to go to counseling.
Okay.
You'll never if you don't get your mind right, something will trigger you again.
Yeah. What is the
Um,
conversation like with that person if they're clearly not in sobriety and that's what your program is designed for? When you're checking in, is it just regular conversation or is it like a press to come back to the program?
no, it's a regular conversation
Okay. Okay.
because when you listen to a person and not just hear them, you can tell if they're actually serious or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
The words matter.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I listen very intently because I've turned many of people away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you weed them out before you bother to even move forward.
Yes.
Okay. Why do you think people come to a program like yours and they're not ready? What do you think that's about? Because you turn them away because they're clearly not ready and you know it's not going to work out. Why do you think they're there if they're not ready? Because that's something that's questionable too. Why are so many people showing up? Do you think it's more of like to humor somebody? Do you think they're just like, why are they doing that? And they know that they're not ready.
My uncle said it best: light attracts darkness,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm a big shining light. Like I'm literally proof there's God. I
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
And sometimes people want to play in your face,
Okay.
and they don't realize that the addiction has lied to them, and they have become the addiction.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hear certain things, and what they really want is for you to fix them,
Okay.
and I can't fix you.
Yeah, that was going to be my question because I was wondering, I heard what you said, but I was also wondering about the people who show up to places like that thinking that just walking in was going to be the thing that somehow magically shifted their mind in their own
Yeah,
course.
because if so, just like if I know you're going to slip up.
Mm-hmm.
But
Hmm.
so I run a very it's very tight. It's
Okay.
made to make you like bend a little bit, but you so it
Just
keeps
can't get
pressure
loose.
on you because of the questions that you have to answer about
Mhm.
yourself. And a person who understands that I don't have this under control, they're easier because they also understand that I make people who have to deal with the addict need to understand they're not. they're not dealing with that person. They're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with what has control of them.
Wow.
And so if you're not patient, you're quick to write them off
Mm-hmm.
and dog them out and think, oh, you're just not strong enough. You're just not, you ain't willing. You're just giving up, blah, blah, blah. And you pump this negativity when they're already feeling guilty within their own selves.
Yeah.
And so like that's part of my program is to encourage the soul man because you got to get that cleaned up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then let's go get you some help up here. But
Okay.
that's got to get cleaned up because I actually did the reverse. I got this cleaned up and then I had to work on this.
Yeah.
And that was the hard part.
Is your program is it virtual or do people have to be in person?
So I'm actually here to start the virtual thing
Okay. Okay.
because on Facebook I'm getting messages from people from like New York and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I'm working on that right now
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
to
And there's
start
like
that
people
up.
will be able to like go online to read. Do you have a website or is it just your Facebook community?
I'm working on it. Well, everybody can get me on Facebook, but
Okay, okay.
I'm
Because I
working
want to
on
be
that
sure to
site.
link. I want to be sure to link your contact information here for anybody that wants to reach out to you with any resources or for support. Um,
Okay.
if needed. And then, so before we close out, and you definitely shared a lot already. I want to ask you, for a few pieces of advice. A person that's in their 20s and they're dealing with trauma, things are heavy. They're turning to the bottle. They have maybe a family or they have responsibilities but they just that pull is pulling them. What would you just say them five things to kind of lay on them to maybe kickstart the journey for them or to just, start to change their heart?
My first one would be comfortable being you. Uh, that you do not have to conform to anything around you. You're you're fine being you because millions of little yous was trying to get into your mother's womb, but you were the you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you are unique. And that means you're not supposed to be like anybody else. Learn to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first one. The second one is watch who you surround yourself with. You know, we have this image that has been portrayed, especially on our people, that the eagle was the bald eagle that the Bible talks about, and it's not. The bald eagle just kind of drifts over the mountain and looks down, and that's really not what it's talking about. We're really crowned eagles in
Mm-hmm.
Africa who stays in the branches and has to hunt through the trees. But it has tunnel vision and knows exactly where it's going. And so you have to have that tunnel vision. And the people you're around will keep you from being the actual eagle that you are. A crown eagle has a hunt down in low pressure areas. So their wings have to have muscles to withstand that pressure. And so God will mount those wings up for you to get through the pressure. But if you got people hanging on each side of your wing, you can't soar, baby. Don't try.
Okay.
The third one would be like love your family. Understand that they they see the change in you. Your family is your coach in life because they've been knowing you since you was little,
Mm-hmm.
and they see the changes. And you need to be humble enough to listen and accept to what they're saying. The fourth one would be like it's not okay just to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I always understand it's more than life than just breathing. Like there is a place that I totally believe where heaven meets earth, and it's inside of you. Like always, always, always remember that no matter what your circumstances are, no matter what you're addicted to, no matter what trauma you've been through, I don't care what it is, you matter. And when you start to understand that, you will get to this fifth one, and that's love God, because God loves the hell out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that literally,
Mm-hmm.
because hell don't reside here no more.
All
And I
right.
dance with the devil. But God,
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Okay. So thank you for that. Next I want and lastly, I want you to think about a person that loves an addict and just with your experience of people having to sever ties with you and just your experience with things like, children waiting for you and you're late, different things like that. Just understanding how alcoholism or any addiction shows up and it affects people, but you have people that love you and they're wanting to maybe, like I said, sever ties, or maybe they're wanting to, especially if you haven't even admitted, something's going on. And sometimes people know and they're just keeping quiet because you're in denial about it.
Um, the first one is patience. You have to be patient. It is going to be a hard, tough, bumpy road with a lot of damage along the way.
Mm-hmm.
But jumping down their throat is not going to help.
Okay.
The voices get louder then, because now I feel like I'm by myself and nobody loves me. So you have to be patient. You also have to be stern though. Know that like the manipulation's gonna come and you don't need to help it. So if you know somebody is suffering from alcoholism, don't go get a drink with them
Mm-hmm.
and tell them this is our last one. Don't give them the keys to your car because they telling you they need to go get some milk. Like you have to put real tight boundaries around addicts.
Mm-hmm.
The third one would be in constant prayer, because you never know when that voice will come in their mind, and so you have to be their protection because they ain't talking to God no more, and so you are the watchman, and you see what's coming, and so you need to start to praying for them. Uh, Go to all their doctor appointments and hear, listen very intently, because they'll tell you something and it'll be either a lie or they didn't hear it well. And so, and then the last one is understanding, empathy. Understand that you're not talking to the person. You have to remember that little person that they were, that good person that attracted you to them,
Mm-hmm.
and understand that that just ain't there right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so hang in there.
Okay. Okay. Well, again, thank you so much for all that you shared. Thank you for your time. Thank you for accepting this invitation. I truly appreciate anything that you want to close out with or leave us with at all.
I'm gonna tell you something. You have wisdom written all over you, little sister,
Thank you.
and God needs you because you are offering a voice to people who need to be heard. And so I ask that God bless this show,
Thank
and
you
not
so
just
much.
this one, but everything that you're doing. And you stay focused.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.